What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Stone and BrickWall Reviews. I'm Dave, and tonight I'm here to talk about this show on Peacock based on a video game. You guys, some of you guys might know it. It's called Twisted Metal. Don't have to say it like that. So yeah, I'm gonna be talking about Twisted Metal tonight, the series on Peacock, which is based on the PlayStation video game. Before I get into it, I want to remind you guys, go ahead, hit that like button down below, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Go ahead, follow us on all forms of social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X now. X gonna give it to you. And Twitch. Yeah, Thursday nights we do Twitch. Last BrickWall. I lost my train of thought because I was about to point to the bottom. Y'all see all the stuff there at the bottom on the screen? Yeah, we're there. Like and subscribe for more content. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and Facebook. Boom, there we go. So, without further ado, I'm going to jump into this here review of Twisted Metal. No, they do not say Twisted Metal like that in the show. I just felt like doing it again. But, so this show stars Stephanie Beatrice, Anthony Mackie, Samoa Joe, Will Arnett, Thomas Hayden Church, and those are all the people I can remember off bat because those are the most notable people. There are also other actors in and actresses and whatnot, and they all did a phenomenal job. So, real quick, before I get into this review even farther, I want to say that no, I am not very familiar with the game, right? So I actually got the chance to talk to somebody who played the games before and was very familiar with the games and everything. And I was just asking about the show, and I told them I watched the show, and they were telling me about it. I was like, well, is the game anything like the show, or is like did they make a lore for the show? Like is the game this lore heavy? And they were like, yes, everything you see in the show is practically what happens in the game. I looked this up myself. I'm going to take their word for it. And I say all that to say that this show was really good. Actually, it's funny. It comes from the people who wrote Deadpool. And I think comes from a showrunner of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, if I'm not mistaken. It takes place in I guess you could say it's a post-apocalyptic world where Anthony Mackie plays a character whose name is John Doe, because nobody knows his real name, but he's also known as the Milkman. And the Milkman in this universe, there's someone who makes different deliveries for higher up people or even just regular commoners in exchange, of course, for some type of compensation that usually involves maybe gas for the car or food or some type of special items. But this one delivery that he's tasked with in particular, it's going to be his ticket to a better life inside of what they call the wall, which is where I guess you could say it's a better life in there, right? Like these are the people who, they can walk their dog, they can ride bikes, they can eat food and they have a normal life like you and I have now. Whereas outside the wall, those are the people, they're like the slums, they're the poor, they're the oppressed, they're people who aren't good enough and X, Y, and Z. So I don't know too much of the story behind that particular asset. I don't even think they really mentioned it. It's just, it is what it is. And I like that the show is what it is because it makes it a little bit more enjoyable. It does add some mystery, but then you start to think like, I don't really want mystery. You just know, and they kind of do show it a little bit. Like there was an event that happened and it turned the whole world topsy-turvy upside down. And people practically live on the road. Like the safest place to live is on the road. Like a lot of the main characters are just driving cars all around or staying on the move because they don't want to get caught by certain police forces or get caught up in the wrong type of shit. There's like a group of people. I forgot what they called them, but they're like, you hear this bell ringing and everybody know not to mess with them because as soon as you hear that bell ring in the background, I was like, yeah, nah, we got to go because we are not trying to get caught up with whatever the heck they got going on. So it's a really cool show. Like I said, it's got a lot of good comedy in it. Anthony Mackie does really good in this role. Although if I had one critique of it, it's like knowing that this comes from the writers of Deadpool, it's like they kind of wrote where it's like, oh, well, Ryan Reynolds could be in this, but this is Anthony Mackie. And like Anthony Mackie is delivering stuff like Ryan Reynolds a little bit, but I mean, to that degree, though, it's also just really good because that's also how Anthony Mackie delivers a lot of his comedic lines. So it is kind of like, depending on how you feel about that, about his performance after the first episode, really kind of would dictate how you would feel, in my opinion, how you would feel about it going forward. But I do think it's really cool. The big character that everyone's excited about that was in this show is Sweet Tooth, who is played physically by Samoa Joe, who's a wrestler, and whose voice is provided by Will Arnett. And let me tell you, that is a great combination right there. Sweet Tooth is, again, from someone who hasn't played the games, is only just familiar with the title and familiar with the Sweet Tooth, the big old fat ass clown, or the big heavy set clown, the big properly sized clown. I'm saying that because I'm scared, because what I'm about to tell you, he's like murderous, he's intimidating, he's like the Joker almost, right? But he's like someone that I think the Joker will be just like a little bit like, okay, you're taking it a little too far, Sweet Tooth, don't you think? And like, so you're like, oh, not far enough. Like, that was my best impressions. Thank you. Nah, but I think that it works though. Like, it works. Like, you see the menace behind Sweet Tooth, but you also see like there's a reason he's like that, and that reason kind of does like it gives you an opinion on it, whether you still think he's intimidating or you think that he might just be onto something. He's not like a straight up villain, so to speak. He's doing his own thing, and if you get in his way, you get in his way. If you don't, then cool. But he don't really give a damn about anyone except for like one person. But even then, it's just like, again, either with me or you're against me, or you're just in the way. So, and I like that about Sweet Tooth, that he wasn't really the main villain. The main villain was Thomas Hayden Church's character, who is I'm about to say the warden, but I don't think that's what he was, the warden. But he's like a police officer, and they go into his past, and he was pretty much a loser cop who, when the opportunity presented himself to take over, he took over. And you see just how intimidating he is, and also how bitch-made he is, but more so intimidating. Then you got Stephanie Beatriz, who plays Quiet, who, I'm not gonna lie, at first I ain't like her at all, and I'm still kind of split on her character by the end, because how she's like introduced into the show, like, you get it, like, okay, she's like this little thief or something like that, and you know what I'm saying, she run with the crew of bandits or whatever. But it's like when she link up with like Anthony Mackie, it's like at first it's like, girl, like, whatever you got going on, let that shit go. Like, you being mad dumb right now. It's just like she's annoying at first, and I think that's kind of the point. But at the same time, I don't know, like, even I thought I heard weird stuff going on outside my house, y'all. My bad. I got nosy real quick. Got out the zone. Let me get back in the zone. But anyway, yeah, so her character though, like when her character comes back around and stuff like that, into well, when you finally get used to her character arc develops and stuff like that, like she's easier to tolerate. But even still, it's like, she wasn't like my favorite character. I do like the arc so Anthony Mackie's character, he has like amnesia pretty much. Like, he doesn't remember anything about his life. He just knows that at one point he was a kid, and that's it. So he's kind of also out to find answers, because he's offered, in addition to being offered a better life, he's also being offered a chance to regain what he's lost in terms of memories and knowing who he is and things like that. So it's really, really good. And the series, the season ends on a pretty good cliffhanger that has a lot of people, a lot of fans of the game excited for a character that they can introduce next. Again, I don't know much about the Twisted Metal lore. I just always thought it was a racing battle royale game at best, right? Like, I always just thought it was that. You just drive around, you shoot people, that's it. But apparently this has lore. And so I'm actually very much interested in finding a way to dive into the game series, like the full game series, if I can. I haven't like actively looked into it, but I am interested in knowing more about the game and playing the game and immersing myself into this world, so that I can also be excited for what comes next in future seasons. Especially knowing that this show is accurate to the game. It's like, wow, this stuff is accurate to the game. Like, they didn't just like make up story and like just decide to just like kind of make lore around what you're presenting in the game. It's like, nah, like a vast majority of the stuff happened in the game. So I think that's really interesting that this show was able to take that route. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really had a good time watching it. It's really good. It's on Peacock, so it's a Peacock original. So I mean, if you have Peacock or if you have Xfinity, check to see if you get your free Peacock. Childish joke. But anyway, but yeah, nah, I really, like I said, I really enjoyed this show. Critically, this show right now sits at a 68% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I guess is understandable. It came out July 27th. It is 9 episodes. Is it 9 episodes? Let me see, because there's not that many episodes in the first season. It's 10 episodes. Those 10 episodes, each one running about 30 minutes apiece. They're very entertaining episodes. Like I said, I had a great time watching this show. I binged it over the course of a couple of days just because of how hooked I got into it. I wasn't expecting to like it this much, but I saw the hype surrounding it, and I wanted to give it a try. And I do think it was good. My personal rating for it, I give it about a 3.9 out of 5 stars. Like I said, it's nothing like in particular that like drags it down. It's just like, it's very accessible. I will say it's accessible, right? Don't take my 3.9 as a knock that it's bad. It's a good show, and it's very accessible to people. I just don't feel strongly about it. That's all. But I do enjoy it, and I do recommend it. I think it'll be a good time to watch. It's a bloody mess. It's a gory mess if you're into that type of stuff. And when I say mess, I mean that in a good way. It's got some good comedic moments in there. And the characters, you do come to actually enjoy a lot of characters in the show. So obviously, I've already said I can't wait for a second season. I'm excited for whenever it drops. Obviously, it'll have to be after the writer and actor strike, but hopefully that ends sooner rather than later. Shout out to all those people who are on the picket lines and stuff like that. May the force be with you. But yeah, I'm excited to see when we get more of I was about to say Sweet Tooth, because it's not Sweet Tooth. When we get more of this series, Twisted Metal. So I'm excited. So I enjoyed it, and I hope you guys are able to check it out. It's on Peacock, Twisted Metal, now streaming. Is it safe to watch with kids? I mean, if you don't mind them hearing cursing and seeing a lot of violence and gore and blood and stuff like that, there is maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 max sex scenes. It's not like you don't see like titties or nothing, but you do see them like engaging, like you see the movements and and all that stuff. So I mean, if you want to stray away from that, you can easily fast forward that, and you won't skip a beat, as is the case with any sex scene. You skip through it, you don't miss anything except for 2 people banging each other. So, But anyway, that's all I have for you guys tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Follow us on social media, and stay tuned to the channel for more content. But until next time, be easy, stay breezy. Peace.